coaching, entrepreneurs, corporate, whatever, now is the opportunity of a lifetime to give out free stuff. You need to give out everything that you've ever created in your life. Just give it out for free. I'm doing my, Tony is my event planner, and she's not event planning my April 30th to May 2nd event because there's no event been canceled because of the stay at home. But I'm doing it online and it's free to everybody. And I have almost, I think, 400 people already. And I literally just released it 2.5 days ago. 400 people, a lot of them that I don't know because I set up an affiliate program, are coming to my speaking 3-day weekend. It's April 30th, May 1st, May 2nd for free. And I'm giving out all this stuff for free that I normally would charge money when they came to the live event. I got so nervous when I set this up. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, everyone is going to want their money back for this event because they all paid like between $197 and $997 depending on what they got for this event. And I was freaking out thinking, oh my gosh, everyone's going to cancel. So I said April 30th to May 2nd is going to be a free event. You get that. But you also then get to come to the live event April 8th, 9th, and 10th. God willing, there will be, and I'm sure there will be. So I thought, though, everyone was going to come back to me. No, I don't want that. I want my money back. What I got from hundreds of people across the board, thank goodness, I don't have to buy a hotel room. I don't have to fly out there. I don't have to. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, they're so happy that I'm not doing it live, which is great. But let me just share this too. That is great for now. That's not going to last. It's great for right now. But if you're a speaker and you want to do live events and you're not setting up your own live event, you are making a huge, huge mistake. Because when this comes back and you have an event scheduled, like mine's October, I'm hoping I think it'll be fine by August. I really believe that. I'm the eternal optimist. But worst case scenario, it's got to be better by October. But plan something now. And people are going to be in such a state of euphoria that they just want to go to an event, even if you suck at what you do. Even if you are the worst speaker in the world, you will get people to come just because you have people there. So this is a great opportunity to set up a live event in the near future. And here's the beauty of it. If it gets canceled because of the stay at home or whatever is going on, hotels are letting you cancel. I booked $25,000, $30,000 for hotels. I got my money back on both hotels because I'm not allowed to do the event. Flights are letting you change with no change fees. So, and seminars, you just put it to the next one. So there's no risk right now at all putting on a seminar in October, because if it doesn't happen for some strange reason, you still can get your money back, or you tell your attendees they can get their money back in the hotel and they can change their flight if they have to fly in, because there's no change fees right now on any of the airlines. So it's a great opportunity to put on your own event. I suggest like September, October, November would be great. I wouldn't do December because of the holidays, but January is great, February, all those months are great. What Tony was talking about before is one of the things that I did and most speakers do to get on big stages. So when I started 14 years ago, I had an event in Santa Clarita, California, where I'm from, and we had like 235 people at my first event. And it was a 4-hour event, and it was great. And then I had a 3-day event, and there were like 200 people at that. That was in LA, and then I've grown ever since. But what happened was, way back then, I don't know, I'm good at marketing. That's what I am, a marketing guy. And I was able to get 200 and something people at my first event. And everyone in the speaker world was like, who's this guy? And how did he get 200 people? And everyone started asking me to speak on my stage. Well, I knew back then that everyone wants to be on each other's stages. So in order for them to get on my stage, I made a deal. You can speak on my stage if I can speak on your stage. So a lot of speakers say, well, I don't want to put on events because I just don't want to put out the money, and it's a pain in the neck to get people to book hotel rooms, and pain in the neck to get people to show up, pain in the neck to put it together with AV, event planners, all the PowerPoint slides, all that stuff. But this is my feeling. If you are a speaker, you must do your own event. There are tons of speakers that don't do their own event, but they have a hard time getting on bigger stages, getting on any stages, because they're not playing the game, as I call it. So I did events from the get-go, and because of that, and because I got 200 people in the beginning, Brian Tracy, you all know Brian Tracy, asked me to be on my stage. And I'm like, hell yeah, Brian Tracy. That's the other thing. If you get 200, if you get 100 people these days, if you get 100 people, you can get anyone to be on your stage. Anyone, anywhere. Laura Langmeyer, Brendan Bouchard, maybe. Well, maybe not Brendan, but Brendan Bouchard spoke on my stage twice. And I spoke on his stage back in 1926, I think it was, when I first started. But Brendan Bouchard spoke on my stage, and now to get him is virtually impossible. But I've had Les Brown speak on my stage because I get people. I've had, oh my gosh, the list is crazy. Dean Graziosi, all the rock stars.
Evans.
Who? Suzanne Evans. Tony, you tell everyone that's been on my stage.
Well, Bo Eason, Suzanne Evans.
Yeah.
You've had the guys from Air Supply. You've had all kinds of people.
I have. I'm going to go to my website. Hold on, because the list is crazy. Who I've had on my stage. I'm going to just.
And you're not name dropping at all.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. I'm trying not to name drop, but since I have an opportunity to name drop, I'm going to name drop. I just want you to see what happens when you actually put on an event. All right, I'm going to give you, these people have spoken on my stage. Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Brendan Bouchard, Dean Graziosi, Derek Hall, who's the president and CEO of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tom Sherman was in charge of the CW network planning TV shows. Lisa Sasevich, Mickey Dolenz, lead singer and drummer for the Monkees. Kevin Cronin, REO Speedwagon. Barbara DeAngelis, Dean Cain, Superman. Duff McKagan, bass player, Guns N' Roses. Russell Hitchcock, lead singer, Air Supply. Eddie Money, God rest his soul. Ray Parker Jr., Ghostbusters. Joseph McClendon, Tony Robbins guy. Alex Carroll, Laura Langmeyer, Mike Koenigs, Glenn Morshower, Rick Frischman, Author 101, Gilby Clark, James Malinchak, Daniela Clark. Gilby was the guitarist for Guns N' Roses. Michelle Patterson, Nick Lowry, Kansas City Chief, kicker, Ernie Hutt. Anyway, the list goes on. Steve Bolsher, Suzanne Evans, David Keckner, actor, Lee Steinberg, the sports agent that represents that the movie Jerry Maguire was written about, Bo Eason, and tons more. So anyway, tons of people like that have spoken to my stage simply because I do events and simply because I get people to show up to my events. Your responsibility, if you do an event, is to get people to show up. You got to put butts in seats. And that's where I come into play, is my marketing to get people to show up. And I have a whole marketing thing that I do to get people to show up to events. It's outside the box marketing. It's crazy stuff, but it works. And I actually, here's the other key to get people to show up. I actually answer my own emails. I don't have an assistant that does that. I do everything by myself. Now, I do have a team that does website stuff and Kartra stuff and event planning and AV and all that stuff. But all the correspondence with my attendees, I do all that myself. And the reason is I learned this from Brian Tracy. I have a great Brian Tracy story. I can't share it now because it's an 8-hour story, but he taught me from day one to learn how to memorize names. Now, I don't know how to teach how to memorize names, but I'm really good at memorizing names. I'll see a face, they tell me their name, I tend to remember it. So when I do seminars, I go out into the audience and I know everybody's names. So someone will say, hey, Craig, nice to meet you. And I'm like, Billy, how are you? And they look at me and they don't have their name badge on. And I'm like, they're like, how do you know me? And I even say their last name. And they're freaked out. Is because when someone signs up for my events, even when I get 700 people, I look who signed up, I go to Facebook or Instagram and see what they look like so I can blow them away when I'm at my seminar, because I learned this from Brian Tracy. It's giving them significance. They're like, how does this guy who I've never met in my life, how did he take the time out of his busy day? The guy that's putting on this gigantic seminar just walked up to me and knew my name. I was at my seminar once, this is about 1.5 years ago, and this guy is in my lobby, and I was just on stage telling the Brian Tracy story, telling how he memorizes names, well, telling that it's important to memorize names, sharing the story how I know everybody's name in the audience. And so this guy comes up to me in the lobby and he goes, I bet you don't know my name. And he calls me out on it. And I'm like, oh crap, I know your face. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I know it. And he's like, see, you're not as good as you said you were. And I said, I know your name. Just give me a second. And I had witnesses and people that were there. And I knew he was like a lawyer kind of guy. And then it just, out of nowhere, it just hit me. And I said, wait, Newell Cumming. And he looked at me and was like, you have got to be, and he's looking around like, did someone hold up a sign behind me with my name on it? And he didn't. That was a God moment, because God just shined that name down on me, and I had witnesses. And everybody from that moment on was like, he's the real deal. He's totally authentic. He just told this great story on stage, and he just proved it because they had a group of people around there. Anyway, this really important thing, I know we all have assistants and we all want people to do our stuff, but if you want to be a speaker, you really want to know your audience, I suggest doing the audience thing. You should know who's going to your seminar. I memorize, I don't even try to memorize. I just look at it and I know everybody's name. So even if they give me their first name, I'll say their last name. And they're like, wait, how do you know me? So anyway, those are little things that I do at my seminars. And when I guest speak as well, when I'm in the lobby, I look at name tags, and then if they ask me from the audience, they're like 50 feet away, someone will raise their hand or a question, and I'll say, yes, Lisa. And they're like, she's like, how did you know my name? And I just know you. And the significance, they're like, oh my gosh. And trust me, Lisa will sign up for my package when I do that. So that's a great way to help sales, as well as when you care about someone enough to take the time to learn who they are. So those are just a couple of things, but the bottom line is you got to do your own events. If you do your own events, you can get on stages, and then when you get on other stages, that's when the deal is, like if I speak on Brendan Burchard's stage, I speak on the stage, I sell a product, we split it 50-50. If I sell a $1,000 package, he gets $500, I get $500, and I have to pay to get to his event, and I have to pay for my hotel to get to his event. So I'm out a lot of money because I'm paying to get there, paying for the flight, paying for the hotel, paying for the restaurant and all my expenses. So I better be good at selling something from the stage so I can recoup that money and actually make money, because I got to give him 50%. But the deal is, he's providing me a new audience. So I want to speak on that stage. I'll pay anything to speak on people's stages that get over 100 people, because I know how good my product is. I'm very confident in my seminars, and I know once they come to my seminars, they're going to love it. I have people that come over and over and over again. I've been doing this for 14 years. I'd say out of 700 people that come, 250 people have been there more than 2 or 3 times, some people 10 times. And it's because I change things up all the time, try to make it different, try to tell new stories. I have a lot of stories from touring with Guns N' Roses and Air Supply, and just being me, I guess. I don't know.
Can I ask a question, Craig?
Yeah.
Since this is my happy hour, I can ask.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Neil asked a question which you sort of just answered. It was splitting the fee when you sell to the audience.
Yeah.
Now, if you're beginning and you don't have your own events,
yep,
and you have to pay to play,
yep,
how important is it for you to know what your return on investment is and your numbers and your percentages? But also, if you're beginning, how much should you be spending to be on a stage? Mm-hmm. And what questions should you be asking of what that audience is like? Okay,
you just asked me 42 questions. I don't remember what the first question was.
I'm sorry.
Right, no,
it all came to me.
No, I got it. The answer is yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right, so, all right, speaking on stages and the split. The only time that you're gonna get on a big stage is if you have a big stage or you're like a Les Brown. You know, you gotta be huge to get on these big stages, or pay to play. And we'll talk about pay to play in a minute. But to get on those big stages, like, I don't have to pay to be on stages because I give them my stage. So, and I've been blessed that now I don't have to pay 90% of the time, 95% of the time to be on a stage. I'll still pay if there's like 500 people. I'll pay all day long. But mostly it's just I go to these bigger events and I'll pay anything to get there. I'll fly there, the hotel, and yes, we split it 50-50. But I know that, let's just say, assume that the flight was like $500, the hotel is going to be $500 for a few days, food, so it's going to cost me $1,500. If I sell a $1,000 package, I got to sell 3 just to break even, and then I want to sell more than that. But I average like 20 to 30 at eWomen. I sold 84 at like $900, $800, whatever it was. So I know I have mastered being good on stage and offering a product. If you're not good at making an offer from the stage, then you take a risk at speaking on stages, especially pay to play. You don't really take a risk if you're speaking for free, but you have to pay to get there, except for the fact if you don't sell a certain amount, I'm going to make up a number, 20 at $500, then the promoter will say, I'm never having that guy on my stage again, or girl, because I need that person to sell, because I'm getting 50% and I paid $50,000 to put on this seminar. So you gotta be great on stage. So a training that you should all look for, how to sell from the stage. Whoever teaches that, there's numerous people out there that do. Lisa Sasevich, James Malinchak. I even touch on it as well, but that's not my focus. Mine's marketing, getting people there. But learning how to sell on stage is key. Okay, pay to play. Now, I'm not going to share who this is, but one of the top speakers in the world, of which I just mentioned their name in that list, and he or she is one of the top speakers in the world, pays me a lot of money to speak on my stage. And this person is huge in the industry. This person pays me a lot of money to speak on my stage because this person, I'm trying not to say he or she, so this person knows how good my audience is. I'm blessed. I have a passionate audience. And that is helped by Tony Caruso in the back of the room being a light and helping people and not being a bitch to people in the back of the room. But no, trust me, there are people out there that you do not want to represent you if they're not the customer is always right type of situation, right? So I am blessed with a great audience. This person knows that. This person has spoken on my stage a few times and pays a lot of money to get on, but this person knows that he or she is going to sell a certain amount of numbers to not only make that back, but and some. And that person still does a 50-50 split. So they're still paying to be on my stage a lot of money, like 5 figures, and they're selling enough to make that back and have a good payday. So, but that person is one of the best sellers out there. This person is amazing at that. They have made it, he or she has made it their craft to do that very, very well. And I only promote people that follow through. This person puts on amazing seminars that these people that sign up are getting unbelievably great value. And that's the position I'm in right now. I'm very careful now who speaks on my stage, because speakers out there in this industry, there's some that you just run away from, just like, oh, no. Because they have this reputation. Yeah, they're great on stage selling, but they don't follow through, and their products are they're not good at all. So the pay to play, another part of the question was, how much do you pay as a beginner to get on stages to like even test out even if you're good or not? So there's stages that I know that like 25 to 50 to 75 people that only charge like $100 to $500 to get on their stage, even if it's 2 minutes. So James Malinchak is one of my mentors from back in 1926 when I signed up for his coaching program. And I won Marketer of the Year in my second year in his program. And every time I go to his events, I just have to stand in the back of the room, and I get tons of people talking to me because I was in that tribe. But every time I go to his events, he doesn't do them anymore, I don't think. He might be doing them again, but he hasn't done them in a little while. But every time I went, for year after year after year after year, I went to his event, and I wasn't in his program anymore, but I just went there because I was his golden child. I was the guy that signed up for his program and made it in the industry. So I signed up for his program. He brings me on stage 5 minutes. I'm on stage for 5 minutes. So when people say at my seminar, oh, I'm only getting 2 or 3 minutes, that's not enough to whatever, I disagree wholeheartedly. In 5 minutes, I'm on James's stage and I tell how I signed up for his, I have a very funny story, how I signed up for his coaching program. Yes, I toured with Guns N' Roses and Air Supply, and I'm the Rockstar marketing guy. And I just do this 5-minute thing. And after that 5 minutes, I have lines of people wanting to talk to me in the hallways for the rest of that seminar. And I don't sell anything. They ask me some stories. I tell them some stories, and then they go online and they sign up for my event all day long. Happens all the time. So I offer for a smaller fee, like 2 or 3 minutes on my stages. To get on my stage with 500, 600, 700 people in the audience for 2 or 3 minutes is worth, I feel, $10,000, $20,000. But I charge like $1,500. Sometimes I charge like $500, depending on the sponsorship. Those are things that you should look at and jump on, whether it's mine or someone else's. The video, because I film everyone throughout my seminar. This is the gift that I give back. I film the whole thing. And if you're on stage for 2 minutes even, on my stage, you don't think you on my stage for 2 minutes just telling them a couple of quick tips, who you are, sending them to a website or something, and you get the footage of that, the perception of you now is, wow, how did you get on Craig Duswalt stage with 500 people and there's video proof that you're on stage? That's worth so much more than what I charge. So there are opportunities, even just for 2 or 3 minutes, to appear on some of these stages that if it's $500 or $1,000, oh my gosh, jump on it. Because you're gonna get the video, if they do that, I do it, you're gonna get the video of you speaking in front of all these people. You put it in your sizzle reel. The perception is, oh, you must speak in front of huge audiences all the time. That's how you get speaking gigs as well. That's a huge, huge thing that I offer. So I have this thing, I'm not gonna sell this now, but I have this thing, if you come for free, I mean, if you already had, or even sign up for now, a table or a sponsor at my April event, which has been canceled, I'm giving those sponsor people 2 minutes at my live online event. And then after that, I'm gonna have 1,000 people on this webinar, whether they're looking at it live or in a recording. So I'm letting them have a website page that they can send so if you, they're gonna teach for 2 minutes. So if you want more information about me, I put a thing up, craigduswalt.com/rockstar. Just go there if you want more information. It's a great lead generator. And they're still getting their table or their sponsorship in October. So while they sign up for April, they're getting this bonus, getting out to 1,000 people, and they're still gonna do October. So if you go to rockyourlifeexperience.com, there's opportunities for that as well. So, but those are ways to get people excited about what you're doing, because and here's the other thing, I put a gigantic banner behind me on stage that says Craig Duswalt's Rockstar Marketing Bootcamp. That's my old one. Now it's gonna be Rock Your Life. But every time a speaker's up there for their 1 or 2 minutes or 3 minutes on stage, they're standing in front of my banner and they're gonna put it everywhere. So all these sizzle reels have my banner behind them. That's why I charge so little for them to appear in front of all these people, because I know they're gonna put it on their sites, and behind them is this big gigantic banner promoting my events as well. So those are just a couple of things that you can do.
If you look at my little thumbnail, it has the banner.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
That's Russell Hitchcock, the lead singer of Air Supply, and my older Rockstar Marketing Bootcamp logo. Yeah. All right, what did I do? I talked for 40 minutes. Should I shut up now?
I just think we should, if you want to open it up for questions, I'm sure people have questions.
Okay, we can do that.
So raise your hand and then we'll unmute you if you have a question. Craig, you don't get to ask yourself a question.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else right now? I also want to say right now, a lot of you know this, I'm saying it every day. On my little thumbnail, it says Tony at tonycaruso.com. Craig is going to be giving away free tickets to his event. So if you email me at that, I will send you the link along with all the other free gifts that we're giving all week. And you can sign up and join us on April the 30th through May the 2nd, correct?
April 30th and May 2nd. Yes. So Tony is going to send you an email. Open that email right away, and she'll give you the link for the free ticket. Do that.
All right. So anyone have questions? You have to have questions.
Nope, we're done.
No. Okay, so I have questions.
Okay.
So if you do not have a product to sell from the stage, or you don't feel comfortable, or in fact the event doesn't allow you to sell from stage, how can you go about getting those emails and building your community?
Well, a lot of people don't allow that. So I don't even allow that. I don't allow people to speak on my stage, and most people don't allow this, and just get all the emails from or the database of the attendees. So that's a big thing in our big seminar world. I keep doing this today. I don't know why I'm doing that all day long. But in our big seminar world, a lot of people don't allow that because, you know, that's our list type thing. Now, I'm all about sharing and stuff, but if people sign up for your stuff, like, okay, for example, if you have an exhibitor table at my event, you could give out free stuff and have everyone come to your table and get everybody's email address and name and business card all day long, because you've invested in part of my seminar helping me pay for the room. So I'm going to give that back to you. But regular attendees, you can't do that. Speakers usually have a table at my events, so that's how they get their signups as well. What was the first part of the question again? Because I had something for that.
Yeah, you went a totally different way. So what I'm getting at is, when you're speaking on a stage, if you cannot sell from the stage, which is the agreement you made, it's a contract, and if you sign that contract and it says do not sell from stage, you do not sell from stage. Because I know one person, as a matter of fact, from Craig's, where I went in the back and I said, are they supposed to be selling? And he said, no. And I said, well, they're selling. He said, get them off stage. I couldn't, but it was an uncomfortable.
Yeah, we were going to tackle that person, but we ended up not doing that.
But I do want people to understand that they can always offer a free gift. And that way people can then sign some kind of form. You have some kind of handout where people can then opt in and choose to get your free gift.
Well, I don't allow that.
Okay.
So
but
I don't
there
allow
are those, but okay, there are those events that do allow it. So ask the question.
Yes.
Okay, so Neil has his hand up. Neil, what's your question?
My question is, hi, Craig. I would like to know, at your meetings, let's say I applied to become a speaker, I would like to know what the demographic is at your meeting, male, female, age, that kind of stuff.
Got it. It's 60, I'm going to say 62, but it's probably 65% female. Age range is, there's only about, I would say, let's just say there's 500 people. So about, I would say 5 to 10%, 20 to 30. Most are 30 to 60. And they're 90% entrepreneurs. So I do have some corporate people that hate their jobs, but it's mainly people that are entrepreneurs. They're speakers, authors, coaches, small business owners, but everyone and a lot of online people, or people that want to eventually get online and do something online. It's interesting now, my audience is now turning into, everyone is now, because of what's going on, is interested in being online. So that's why I have all this online stuff going on, and I'm really going crazy, getting up to speed on this online stuff. But that's, once again, still, if I had to say one demographic, it's entrepreneurs. But there are some corporate people that want to quit their jobs. But 65% women, 35% men. I speak a lot. I speak at a lot of women conferences because I just think there's so many of them, and women are taking over the world anyway. So I might as well speak at their conferences, and they're much more fun because they all take their bras off and they throw them at me. It's amazing.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Oh wait, that was a dream.
Yeah, keep dreaming, Craig. Keep dreaming. Okay,
right,
Katrina had a question.
I have a question, Craig, and I know this answer, but I don't know if a lot of people on this group know this answer. For some of us who are not speakers, would like to be speakers, how did you go about becoming a speaker? Because if we're not a speaker, we're not going to be able to go up on stage and say, hey, okay, you can pay me this much money, or I'll pay this much money.
Yeah. So great question. I have the greatest answer for that. I am not in Toastmasters. I am not in NSA, National Speakers Association. Actually, I'm a member there, but I never go. And I'm not in Toastmasters, and I've never, ever trained. I did it again. I've never trained as a speaker. Never. I just went on stage and just started talking. I honestly, that's how I became a speaker. I trained the business of speaking. I learned what the business was, but no one told me how to be a speaker. And I believe this in my heart. If you are authentic and you just share what is inside you, then you're going to be a great speaker. If you try to be somebody else and you try to do something that other people said you should do it like this because this is what sells more, you will get killed in the industry. All you got to do is you need to know what you're talking about. So you should only go on stage and talk about what you already know. If you are an expert in it, don't just say, I'm going to do this because I hear you can make a lot of money speaking on leadership, but I've never been a leader in my life. You know, you can't do that. But whatever you're an expert in, if you just take that information and you have to learn how to put it into a PowerPoint and, you know, do some other things that, you know, I just naturally just did. So I open my seminars, I throw out t-shirts. Remind me, throw out t-shirts in a minute. And I just spoke from what I just felt was in my heart, and I just spewed out what I knew. That's all I did. I have no training at all. None. I have no training. And I'm blessed to be, I guess, one of the top marketing speakers in the country just because I get booked all the time and I get a lot of money to speak at corporations. So I guess I'm good at it, but I have no training at all. None. So there's no training. Now, it would be beneficial.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, wait. It would be beneficial to like take an improv class. So Glenn Morshower teaches acting. He's one of my good friends, and he's on FaceTime like every second. So you just go to FaceTime and go to Facebook and type in Glenn Morshower, and there's a video going on right now. He's on all the time, but he has improv classes. He just teaches people about improv. Acting classes are beneficial as well. Just learning how to, you know, not be afraid to speak in front of people. There's some things, some tricks that you could learn. So I have an acting background, and I guess that's how I was able to, you know, do that and just be confident enough. And believe me, I was not, but confident enough to get on stage. But the first time I got on stage and I did my own seminar, I almost passed out, freaking out backstage, like, what the hell am I doing? But I guarantee you do it once, it's gonna suck. You're gonna be horrible the first time. Adam Ace is one of my guys in my mastermind. He's college comedian of the year, like 5 years in a row. He's huge in the college speaking comedian world. And he does comedy routines at my events. And he put together a montage of me speaking at my first event. And he cut it where I said the word 5,000 times, like in a minute. It was awful. I just was like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. But it's because he cut out all the good words in between. And I just said, so it was that. But I realized, oh my gosh, I said the word a lot. So if I kept doing that, I would not be where I am. But I looked at the tape and go, that's not good. So over time, you will learn to be a better speaker if you do it more often. But if you speak once every 2 years, that's not going to work. But this is where a Toastmasters does come into play. I was blessed to get more speaking gigs because I'm really good at marketing and just getting out there. But even if you did Toastmasters, it is a great training to do it over and over and over again, because the more you do it, the better you will become. So you do have to get on stages, but the first time, just know it's not going to be great. Second time, it's not going to even be good. Third time, it's going to be a little better. Fourth time, but eventually you'll get to the point where you are actually good at it if you speak from the heart. Back to throwing out t-shirts in my events, because I do get nervous before I go on stage, even to this day. And if you don't get nervous before you go on stage, Axl Rose gets very nervous before he goes on stage. Slash, all those guys, they get nervous before they go on. That's why they drink a lot, you know, but I can't drink because I have to remember stuff. So what I did from early on, I did this right away, said to myself, how do I get these people in the audience on my side? Well, I give them something, but I can't just give them something. So how do I do that? So I play Name That Tune, I play really loud music, and I throw out Rock Your Life t-shirts. I just throw out like 30 to 50 t-shirts, and my boot camp, I throw out 200. But I just throw them out to the audience. It gets everybody riled up. Everyone's excited now because it's amazing how many people will just dive over people for a freaking t-shirt. But they do, they go crazy. And because of that, now when the song is over, everyone's sitting down. A lot of people are happy. They put their t-shirts on, and I could do no wrong anymore. I just gave free gifts to the audience. So no matter what I do on stage right now, I'm still in a good space because I gave them something. So if you come up with something like that, where even if you mess up, they're on your side because you've given them something before you even started. That's how I really started getting comfortable on stage, because I knew the audience was on my side because I just gave them something for free, most of them.
So any other questions, or I'm going to pull out?
You said one more thing, no product. What if you have no product? How do you get on stages, right? So the quick answer to that is get a product, is because it's so easy now to do products. Just do an online course, a 6-week module. Go to Zoom, just record yourself on here like this and just teach 6 40-minute classes and just offer that as a product. It's so easy to do now. But if you don't have a product and you still want to get on stages because you're a good speaker, you're still going to get good footage of you speaking, and you could use it for your sizzle reel. So I would still pay to be on some of those stages, even if you're not offering a product, because you're going to take you speaking on stage and give it to, put it in your sizzle reel, or just show people that you are a real speaker, and then eventually you will do a product. But a product could easily just be a coaching call, you know, or something that you could just, but it would be great if you sold your event as part of your product, which is what I do.
Okay, Michelle has a question.
It's really hard to tell the difference if you're not in this really well, the difference between talking about your business and selling from the stage. Can you differentiate those?
Yes. So I don't talk about my business. When I speak on stage, I teach. So the idea is to give them as much information about your area of expertise as possible, and then offer the next level. So I've been told since day one when I started speaking from these people that I will not have on my stage, and they're very big people, Craig, you cannot teach people. You have to tell them what to do. Never ever tell them how to do it, because that's your coaching program. That's what you sell on stage, and then you'll sell a ton more. I don't have that in me. I can't not teach. I've been a teacher since day one. So I do it according to some of these really harsh sellers wrong, but I feel good about it, and I still sell a lot. So I teach. So let's say I have a 90-minute presentation, which is usually an hour to an hour and a half on a typical entrepreneur stage. For the first hour and 15 minutes, if it's 90 minutes, I'm teaching. I'm giving outside the box marketing ideas, things that they could do tomorrow to get more people. So all I'm doing is teaching, showing people how to do it, where to go to do it, how to do it. And then for the last, actually it's even 10 minutes at the end, I do a quick offer that says, hey, if you want to learn how to do this for 3 days, if you think this was good, wait till you come to my seminar for 3 days, and I sell a flash drive that you get as a bonus if you come to my seminar. Your flash drive is how to write a book in 30 days and these other things. But I set up, you need to write a book. And here are some of the ways that you can write a book. But now the flash drive contains what to do to write a book exactly. Day 1, you do this. Day 2, you do this. And it walks them through a day by day, which I can't do in an hour and a half, but it's really upselling what I'm speaking about on stage, even though I'm still teaching, but they can't teach everything. So I give them enough information where they go, oh my gosh, and the danger is, oh, I've got enough, I don't need him anymore. But here's my thinking behind this. When we go see movies, or we are watching TV, and there's a trailer for a movie, don't we always think, oh my gosh, the trailer was by far the best part of the movie, and the rest of the movie was awful. You know, I watched the trailer, and that was just the good part, and the rest of it was horrible. Same principle here. If I give them all my best information in that hour and a half keynote talk, they're going to say, oh my gosh, if he gave us that now here, imagine what I would get in 3 days at his event. And that's why people come, because I give, but I still have way more. I'm blessed to have 254 outside the box marketing ideas. I give them like 6 or 7 at my guest speaking, but then I have a ton more at my seminars, which pays off that it was worth coming. But the idea is to train and speak, and then just make an offer paying off what you're just saying, what you just spoke about, and then make sure it has something to do with what you were just talking about. Did that answer it? Okay.
And also understand who your audience is, and be aware that when you're in front of an audience, that it's your audience. Don't just speak on stages to speak on stages, because if they're not your audience, it's the wrong environment.
Thank you. That's a huge, huge point. I spoke at what's the name of it?
Water in
the bar on Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, that's right.
Where River Phoenix died outside. Does anyone know? Remember?
Oh, it started with an R.
Whatever it was this. It's this very famous bar. It'll come to me on Sunset Boulevard, and I was speaking to YCS, very, very high-end CEOs of big companies, and it was at a bar. And I've always been told never speak at an event where there's alcohol involved. And I was like, yeah, but these guys are going to pay. They paid me a lot of money to speak there. So I literally got there, and people were going into this bar, nightclub, and to get in, you had to do 5 shots of tequila just to get into the YCS meeting. And I'm like, so, and I'm speaking near the beginning of this. And so I set up the stage. It's on a small little stage, but everyone is talking and everyone's drunk already. And I'm only in the first hour. It's only the first hour. Imagine like 3 hours later. And so they bring me on stage and they say, this guy toured with Guns N' Roses and da da da. Please welcome our keynote speaker of the evening, Craig Duswalt. And everyone's like, Slash, Guns N' Roses. And they're trashed. They're so drunk. I literally started my speech, and like 1 minute in, they're still yelling Slash, Axel, Guns N' Roses. It's like I'm at a rock concert. No one was paying attention. I literally left. I stuck up one of my fingers, choose which one it was, and I had a couple of choice words for the audience, and they still paid me, and I left after 5 minutes, and they still gave me my $15,000. But never ever speak to drunk people. It was so bad. So know your audience and know your event. Never speak during lunch. During lunch is the worst. People are clanking their stuff and they're not paying attention. I will never take a during lunch. After lunch is great. Never speak when people are drinking or speaking. So yes, know your audience and know what's happening.
Judith has a question.
Yes.
Good question. It's the Viper Room.
Thank you.
Viper Room.
Hi, Judith. How are you?
Good, Craig.
Yes, the Viper Room. Thank you. That was where I spoke. Yeah. Oh, Lord have mercy. We're speaking together.
Okay, Craig, what about, you just mentioned it, and I think this is a really good point. Speaking after lunch. Tell us the pros and cons.
Okay, so this is how I started as a speaker. I'm high energy. Like this is, if you think this is, I'm crazy on stage. So nobody, no speaker, nobody wants to speak after lunch. Why? Because everyone's tired after lunch, they're falling asleep, and everyone hates that speaking slot. So I knew that since day one when I first started speaking. So I used to tout, I send out one sheets and I will be your speaker after lunch. Why? I throw out t-shirts. I get the audience riled. I'm high energy. I play a lot of music. I tell a lot of crazy stories. And I started getting booked as the guy that, okay, just book this guy after lunch. If nothing else, he'll wake up the audience for the rest of us that will sell. So all my speaking gigs, 90% of them, when I first started, I took the worst speaking spot imaginable and I thrived in it for years. And now I get the good speaking slot, which on a 3-day event is before lunch on day 2. I get that slot now a lot, which is good. That's a good slot, just so you know. What's a good slot?
Okay, in our chat, Michelle has asked, are there also ethical or legal issues with selling to an audience who has been drinking?
Well, I did not sell that evening. I was a keynote speaker. So I would imagine, well, here's the deal. I will never do that. So I don't have to address that option. But I guarantee there's some stuff that they're going to sign up for something and they'll say I was drunk the night before. I signed up and I want my money back. Now I give a 30-day money back guarantee anyway. But once again, I will never, ever have to deal with that because I will never speak to that type of audience ever again. And I highly suggest you don't, because it never works out.
Awesome.
I've been told that numerous times by higher end speakers than me.
Well, I want to thank Craig for spending an hour with us and sharing his brilliance. I also want to remind you to email me at tony@tonycaruso.com if you have not already. And just put the word free, and I will send you all the free stuff that we're getting all week. Tomorrow we've got Bobby. Is she still on the line? Bobby, yes. Bobby, unmute yourself and tell us what you're speaking on tomorrow.
Hi. Well, Craig, thank you for the toughest act to follow, and Tony, thank you for your confidence in allowing me to follow him.
You're the after lunch speaker.
I'm the after lunch speaker, the Friday happy hour. I'm going to be talking about how to show up on stage, how you look, that voiceless communication, and does your wardrobe enhance your message, and does it give you that silent introduction, that wordless introduction that all you have to do is step into.
May I interject right here? So
No.
you should all tune into hers tomorrow, because when I first started as a speaker, everyone told me, you're a speaker, you got to dress in a certain way. You have to wear a suit and tie and everything. And I felt fake on stage. And I'm speaking on rock star marketing. Well, as soon as I got comfortable with myself, I wore what I wore touring with Guns N' Roses on stage, wild jackets, and it made all the difference. It made all the difference in the world. So tune in tomorrow, because what she's going to say is extremely valuable. Before you even get on stage, it's that first impression thing. You better line up with what you're talking about. So that's great.
Awesome. Well, thank you all very much, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
You do.
Woo! Thank you, Craig. Love you.
Thank you, Tony. Love you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye. Craig, do you remember my name?
That's cool.